hear myself through my headphones. Yes, man. Like, I feel real good about this right now.
Pay attention, because you are now listening to Permission to Speak Freely.
For the listeners, over 100 and some episodes, and I still don't know how to start this pod. Like we still have not figured out an introduction for this, man. Damon might come in with the energy. Hey. I might come in. We just coming off a conversation. But what I will say is this. Tish is sick, man. Tish sick, so she still showed up to play. She still showed up to play ball. Flu game, Tish. I'm sick too. I'm trying not to curse in the first 2 minutes of the episode. I'm hurting, y'all. I'm everything. I got my eyes hurt, my head hurt, my nose hurt. But I mean, we still, I promised my good brother that we was going to sit down and we was going to have this conversation. So we definitely here.
Right.
Damon seemed like he 100% over there though.
Oh yeah, man. I keep it 100, man. I stay good, man. I stay good, man.
Yeah, we hurting over here. The weather changing and stuff like that. But so just bear with us. Y'all, you might hear me sniff, sneeze. I'm blowing my nose. I got my handy dandy tissue over here. It's a toilet paper roll. I live in the barracks, y'all. Don't judge me. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we really ready to go. But we are joined by none other than the good brother Coby Turner, retired YNCS. How was it? 26 years?
Yeah, we'll be 26 years on June 1st.
Okay.
Yes.
What's your actual day that you retire? Like your actual day of service over?
May 31st.
Okay, so May 31st is it for you? Yeah, so we are joined by the good brother Coby Turner. Well, we're going to get into a whole lot of stuff with him. This is a different type of conversation. It's no cards, no Shannon Sharp cards, no questions, no pre-written, nothing. You know, we just going to have a real good old-fashioned, like me and Damon used to do back in the day in the kitchen, you know, old-fashioned conversation, like y'all.
Hey, Damo, real quick, man, let me touch on something. Hey, that's June 1st of 98 you came in?
No, so I came in May 20th of 98.
Okay.
So that would have put me at my 20-year mark, but of course you carry it out to the end of the month. So 26 years and a few days.
Yeah, man, I'll be 26 June 3rd. So I thought we was right there, man. I was like, okay.
Right there together.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, we were definitely in boot camp struggling together.
Making them buildings sweat, making it rain up in there.
Hey, the crazy thing is my son is in now, and I told him he definitely didn't want to go through boot camp in the wintertime. So, you know.
Yeah,
that's another crazy
we got
story.
Lucky.
That's another crazy story right there, because my son in too.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, man.
I like it.
Wow.
And that's the part I wanted to touch on. So I recently went to Coby's retirement and his son was there, right? And regular retirement ceremony, you know, just as I expect, you know, mine to be, except I'm probably going to cry longer. Like anybody that's familiar with a Navy retirement, it's about an hour long, hour and 20 minutes and stuff like that. It's the normal, everything happened the way it's supposed to happen. But you kind of came to quick. Like you came to really fast and you like, and for the listeners, I'm saying came to, right? So all the pause type shit, y'all could get that up. But so he came to real fast, whereas like he got his composure super quick. Gave a really good speech. It was funny. It was, you know, everything heartfelt, you know, a whole bunch of stuff. I know it's going to be hard for me. I'm going to have a couple of them ugly cry moments. You got to pull me back, you know? I'm not good with talking when I'm at like the height of my emotions, right? Now, I was good through this whole thing, y'all. So I roll in there. I got my civvies. And Coby hit me up. He like, yo, bro, what's up? You know, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm coming through, right? And I'm like, but I don't got my uniform because it was in Norfolk, right? And I was at home on baby leave. He's like, it's cool, just come through. So I come through. I was like, I'm gonna wear all black, right? So I come through. A whole bunch of familiar faces, people I know, you know, and just made command, so they all know. So they like, hey, congrats. But normal ceremony, like I said, and then this moment happens. The Relita watch, Damon. The Relita watch joint happens, right? His son pulls up. His son comes up on the stage to tell him he's relieved, man. And he like after he did it, Coby kissed his son like on the side of his head or something like that.
Yeah.
Damn near shed a little tear, man.
That's powerful, bro.
Hey, say the best for last, man.
It ain't come out. And that's like, you know, that's like a man moment. You know what I mean? Like that was like almost like a man tear. You know, it's heavy. You know what I mean? But it ain't come out. But I want to run it into Coby on stage, man. I told him like, yo, bro, You almost made me cry, man. I ain't signed up to come here and cry. Yo, you almost got me. He said, that's what you're supposed to do with these things, man. Hey, so let's go back. Because from the beginning of your ceremony, you know, you had one of your brothers up there talking through your career, and you've been a lot of places and worked for a lot of people, like Pentagon for a lot of years, and you work for a whole lot of people. Yeah. So I just want to like touch on some of that stuff for a little bit, you know, where you come from in the Navy and how you got to where you are.
So if you look at my career track, right, I think the majority of it, I was an East Coast, West Coast sailor, literally, right? And when I say that, I did 3 tours in the DC area where I retired from, and I did 2 tours in San Diego. I did a DDG out there where I made chief, and then I did a pre-com that eventually sailed around in San Diego on the Tripoli. And my other tours were, I was in Tampa at a Joint Command SOCCENT. And then I was overseas in Japan for my very first tour in Atsugi, Japan, at the Fighter Squadron 154 Black Knights Tomcats. So yeah, East Coast, West Coast, touched both coasts. I think that, and I was also at Millington, Tennessee at NPC. So as a yeoman, you really want to get invested and engrossed in both coasts, have an understanding of it, do an overseas tour. And, you know, I was just knocking out the things that were required in my ladder, right? But I think personally, the thing that got me, obviously, the senior chief was doing that pre-com tour, even though it sucked being away from family. But doing that pre-com tour, and then as I was about to leave the pre-com post-COVID, I came back to the DC area. I interviewed for a job at CNO staff, but didn't get selected for it. So I ended up going to joint staff, right? Because I was ready to drop papers when I didn't get that job. I was just going to extend to San Diego, stay out there, and just retire in San Diego. But they were like, nah, hold up. We need you at a different job. So I ended up going to joint staff, worked the public affairs side of the house, and then, of course, got linked up with you when we ran season. And yeah, that's the majority of where I've been and how I got there.
Yeah, that is how we linked up, man. We linked up at like a season meeting at some restaurant, some breakfast spot,
some little cafe joint, right? little off the highway type thing.
What year were you in Millington?
From right after, so 2004 to 2000. No, I take that back. 2008 to 2011 timeframe.
Maybe that's where we were stationed together. I can't remember. I just know we were stationed in the vicinity of at some point, but it could have been Millington. It could have been Millington. It was either, it could have been Millington, actually.
You know, who knows?
Maybe.
Symposiums,
maybe. But we go way back somehow, but I just I just remember that we family. That's all I remember.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Coby, what's this? I do got to ask you this though. What's this story about your name, man? Like, did you have the wrong name? Did you have the wrong name throughout your whole career?
Hey, don't make me go get my script, man. I'm going to start this at the end of the story, right? So I'm going to start it at the end, which was what I said at my speech. In my speech, I was like, yo, y'all can call me Cleon. Y'all can call me Coby, but as long as on the 1st and 15th I get paid, I don't care what y'all call me. And the reason why I say that is because my PS at the time told me, yo, you know, when you first came in, your recruiter messed up your joint. You know what I'm saying? Like, he put Cleon, your middle name, on all your documents. And so I feel like Sophia right now, but all my life I had to fight and tell people, right? Like, yo, dog, my name is Coby. And they're like, nah, you just want to be like Coby Bryant. I'm like, well, I can hit you with a fade. But no, seriously, my name is Coby. But when they came in, they messed up my documents and they put my middle name first. And so I got to my first command, talked to the PSs, and they were like, yo, I'm going to tell you right now, if you do it, there's a chance that it might stop your pay because they're going to have to go back in and look at your documents. And I was like, nah, it ain't that serious, right? You know, I know my name. My mama know my name. We good. But I will say, I got into some heated conversations with some ITs until I became a chief about what I wanted on the gal, right? They would always be like, Cleon. I'm like, man, come on, bro. Y'all killing me, man. I got to fight and explain my name every time. But then when I became a chief, I was like, yo, my name going to say Coby, right? Oh, yeah, chief, we got you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, until I ran to an IT match chief, but that's a different story. So, yeah.
So even your re-enlistment documents said Cleon Coby?
Yes. I mean, like, I even went in and tried to do like the name change on the My Navy portal, like, joint. Like, I submitted it, I put it in, and that joint never came back. I feel like my AO kind of stopped me out on that one, but it's all good. It's all good. But that's the story. Like, real talk, my name's Coby Cleon Turner from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Let me not give too much because y'all gonna be getting into my
Arkansas.
Yeah.
So
yeah, bro.
So like I said, I met Coby at like some like little restaurant diner, and from the moment I met him, I knew he was a good dude, man. And Coby he the type of dude for me. And I don't ever tell people like what I take from them or, you know, what I receive. I just kind of just live life, right? But Coby the kind of dude that just be like, yo, you doing this, right? You know, and a lot, sometimes I'll be wanting to do certain shit, you know what I mean? But like Coby, like, hey, you doing this, right? Like, y'all gonna be here? You doing this? And I'm like, yeah, you know, yeah, for sure, 100%. Hey. That's just, you know, and it's like, you don't even know that, like, yeah, I'm doing it for sure. So that's the standard. You know, even when we was going through the season, I think when we were going through the season, you kind of become your reputation, right? So I ain't gonna dig too deep into this, but when we were going through the season, I'm in the yard and they in the Pentagon. And as much as we work together, it's still this whole, like, from the yard, at least, it's still this whole, like, man, like, yo, don't let the Pentagon take over. Don't this, that, you know, they got Pentagon might, you know, and I never felt that, you know what I mean? I'm like, no, this ain't, you know, this is cool. I could hit them. And a lot of their stuff was more kind of done than ours, you know what I mean? So me, I go to the Pentagon, I get the game from Coby because this was my first time running the season, you know? So I was like learning and doing at the same time, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely appreciated that. And I think the things we did together, you know, we did them well. Pentagon showed up, you know what I mean? Pentagon definitely showed up, did what he supposed to do, you know, led the charge. And we followed suit, man, on a lot of stuff. And we just had a good time, man. You know, so. All right, so let's talk about, so you go through the season, right? I run into you again at penning ceremony because our penning ceremonies were pretty much on top of each other, right? I think we finished first, and then y'all came. Yeah, y'all finished first. Yeah, so we finished. Pentagon got us out the way, man. They got us out the way. We got up out of there. They packed us out. You know what I mean? But I think I ran into Coby before I finished, and you wasn't in the best mood, man.
Nah, bro. I mean, I'll say, bro, like, just to back up on that, you know, you're right. When we first did our meeting, right, it's a lot of pressure. People don't know, like, out of all the entire fleet of all the hundreds of thousands of sailors that we have in the Navy, bro, like, when you do the season in DC, you literally have the eyes of the fleet on you, right? Yeah. And if you don't have that intricate understanding, you don't have no business being part of the season or running the season, right? Because Navy times will pull up quick. And you will get destroyed because of the fact that you're right there with the MCPON, you're right there with CNO, like all the eyes of the fleet are on you. So the stress factor is very, very high, right? If somebody call you in the middle of the night saying, yo, selectee just did X, Y, and Z, they got, you know, they overslept and, you know, they drove and they shouldn't have been driving, their sponsor hadn't been reaching out, like all of that just keeps you up during the season, right? And I will say through the seasons that I've gone through, because I've been in the Met since 2013, so almost 11 years, out of all the seasons, right, it just became more and more of how you invest your time into your selectee, right? And this particular season wore down on me much more so because of the fact that, you know, I invested so much into the selectees, but not only the selectees, but as the lead, I invested a lot into the mess. So like when the mess had issues or we had these junior chiefs in the mess that really didn't get it or didn't understand or didn't like the way I was making decisions or me and my crew was making decisions because, you know, I had another senior chief and another chief with me as season leads on my team. And I know you had a couple chiefs with you on your team. And if they didn't like the way we made decisions, like we had to deal with that. We had to deal with the selectees. We had to deal with the spouses to make sure they were good and they were informed on everything. Oh, by the way, you got to deal with the CMCs. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot, right? And if you're not investing yourself into that, and then you're not really running the season, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that on that day that you saw me, like I said, I had an emotional breakdown on the way to the pinning ceremony. I had to call my mentor, T. Willer, and, I was like, sis, like, I am literally drained. Like, I get it. This is the final, we did final night. We're here. We're getting ready to do the ceremony in front of all these hundreds of people. We had, at our ceremony, we had one of the Assistant Secretary of the Navy's there. So it was a lot of people, a lot of security, a lot of cameras, a lot of lights, a lot of action, right? Mm-hmm. And I was drained, bro. I was done. And at that point, I was just ready to sit there and, enjoy the ceremony, but not be part of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it was T. Willer that talked to me, and she was like, yo, take your breaths, know what you've done this for, and know who you've done it for, and know the investment that you made, and look at them as a return on your investment. And, as I was talking, the crazy thing about it, and I've talked to my therapist about this too, when I look at situations sometimes, and all of us do this, we're apprehensive at first. So we might have a bit of anxiety or whatever. But as we get into it and as we start talking, we get stronger and stronger because of the fact that we know what we're doing. Yeah. We know why we're doing it. We know we get joy out of doing it because, we're looking out for people, and not just for the people. We're looking out for their families as well, right? This is about them. This is about their day, and the investment and the return on the investment that we made. So I know you weren't around at the end of the ceremony, but as the ceremony went on, like I got much, much better. Yeah,
like I think mid my season, man, I had to just tell myself, like, from the beginning on, it was about my selects. I'm like, yo, it's about our chief selects, man. Like that's what this whole 100%. Season is about. It's about them. But I think mid my season, it was certain things I had to say, yo, all right, I don't care about this because it's about my selects. It's about y'all, And I'm not saying it was things that I didn't invest myself in, but throughout the planning, ain't gonna talk too much about the season, but it's a planning process and then it's an execution process. So
absolutely,
throughout the planning process, sometimes the participation could be limited. Like, not a lot of people, right?
What you say?
But in the execution process, everybody coming out, the flood, they got opinions, they got thoughts. It's like, yo, we just talked about this 3-4 weeks ago when we was planning. Like, where was you at?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So then so people, you get conversations where people like, hey, such and such say they feel left out, such and such. I'm like, yo, that's white. That's background noise right now. We executing this season. If you in charge of this, you a chief, you a senior chief, do your thing, like be in charge of it. Cause Coby, you the lead. So if anybody got any problems, it's like they calling you, and it's like, yo, some of us, like we done this before, man. You playing in a khaki ball, right? And I'm just using that as an example. Like, you didn't play the khaki ball before. The khaki ball was playing last year. It ain't that much, Any element. I'm using khaki ball as an example. So shout out to the people that did the khaki ball. They wasn't, too much of a hassle. You know what I mean? But anything, all this stuff been done before. You know what I mean? So, so at the end of the day, I'm like, all right, whatever this is for the selects. Let's do this for them. And that's when I kind of poured into them more than anything else. I'm spending time with them, and they know it. They feel it. They feel it, bro. Yeah. Like they know who really pouring into them. They know who just showing up. They could feel that shit. You know what I mean? So
100%.
Yeah, and a lot of them I retain relationships with. And when I went to your ceremony, I saw some of them that went through our year at your ceremony. Saying goodbye to you at your retirement ceremony. You know what I'm saying? So since
let me add to that a little bit, man. Hey. First of all, Coby, that jacket tight, man. I want to say that too, man.
I was looking at it. Damon always want the fresh gear.
Man. I just throwing it out there. But hey, man, the season pressure and things like that. Because I ran a couple seasons too, man. It's the fact the pressure it built on me, man, because we care.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Right. And when I say we care, I care about what everybody's saying. I can sometimes sit back and listen to people. And I pick up on all these little things because I care about the product that we are putting out. You know what I mean? So I'm listening at all these things, and sometimes that pressure can build up. And then I get into a mode like what Dumbo said, like, hey, man, it's all about the selects, man. Like this is their season. Right. If you can't compartmentalize that, man, it's tough. Because people gonna be saying all type of stuff. They're gonna have their own opinions. And then like Dumbo said also, like, you got people who haven't been here this long, haven't been there, and all of a sudden they got an opinion. And you know, it's so much going on in a season that sometimes people don't understand because you got what they say in the beginning of it, right? The CMCA, he don't want to get fired. You know, we don't want this stuff to be in Navy times. We don't want this. So you trying to run a clean ship, right? You trying to run this thing clean as you can, and you care about the product that you're putting out. Like my name is on this. Right. When you say I'm the guy, I'm the guy. So I'm looking at everything. I want to know this. I want to know that. But you're right, man. Like it's pressure, man. It's a lot of pressure. And I'm glad for you, though, at the end, you had somebody you could pick up the phone to and call, you know what I mean? To calm you down a little bit and say, hey, you got this, man. You know what I mean? So we need that. We need that.
Right. And I was having, conversations before we started, Coby, Damon, Tish. I was telling them like, yo, this is our season, right? It's not my season. It's not this league season, that league season. It's all of ours as a mess, right? And the concept of like the mess and the season and all that stuff, the concept is togetherness and connectedness and like us, like, working as a unit, right? And sometimes I feel like people look at these things like it's a spectator sport. Like they'll watch you burn. Yeah. Like people will watch you burn.
No doubt.
From far away and then call you a failure, or seem super confused or something like that. It's like, yo, if you've done this before or you know how to do this or you got any input, hit me up. Like this what the season about. Holla at me. Like, yo, you could be doing this different. And I really respect like the couple people that have hit me up when I needed to get pulled up. And it was a couple times I did. And some people hit me up like, yo, and it wasn't about the season, some other stuff. But like, hey, Damo, what's up with this? What's up with that? And all the mentors I had, that was keeping me in line. Cause it, like somebody said, it could be like herding cats. And it really can, So I had my CMC, man, he was like, hey, bro, you need to email them every day. And the way y'all's is kind of dynamic because y'all got different entities. And ours is dynamic too because we got mad entities, different installations. It's not just one place where all of these chiefs are. So we got to try to get everybody together. Some of these people don't work with each other. Some of these people work for people that don't really care about the process of the chief season and stuff like that. So it's a whole lot, it's a whole lot with that. But I'm glad everything came full circle and kind of. But now the season, the penance ceremony, was that like the launch pad for your retirement, the phase of your career where you like, now I'm retiring?
So that was end of 2022, because it was like, we still haven't gotten back to the regular season, right? So that was end of 2022, I think, right? Then 2023, what happened, so let me put it together for you. So, right, one of the major things that the CMCs and the Master Chiefs tell you, and those who set the board, yo, you need to run a season, right? You need to run a season. You've done everything in your wheelhouse. You excelled at it. You've been DL, you've checked all the quals, you've been to Senior Enlisted Academy. I see in your resume that you haven't run a season. That may make you competitive against other people in the long run, right? That might be something you're missing. So I definitely wanted to check that block. So fast forward, ran the season, did that, put in my eval, and submitted that to the board. Talked to Master Chiefs that had set the board in the past, in and out of my community, made sure my record was solid. But I had already made the decision in my mind that, yo, if I don't make it this year, with the way the Navy's changing and the way the Navy's coming about saying now, hey, Senior Enlisted Marketplace, you want that second star, you got to go sit at a new desk. Not at the desk you're currently sitting at, but at a new desk, which might be overseas, which might be God knows where. I'm like, nah, bro. Like, if I make it, I want to be able to stay where I'm at or stay in the area I'm at because, my daughter's in high school. My son's just joining the Navy. My wife is good where she is. Like, no, I'm staying here. And the moment that kind of came out, I said, all right, I'm going to look at this board, and I believe it was 23. And when the results come out, I'm going to push hard to try to stay in the DC area because I've already done my research, and there's a ton of jobs in the DC area, not a ton, but there are Master Chief Yeoman jobs in the DC area that need to be filled. Right. So it would have been kind of like a perfect storm, but at the end of the day, it's up to MPC. So, when the list came out and I wasn't on it, I said either I'm going to stick with my decision or I'm going to talk to my mentors and try to stick it out for another year, right? Keeping in mind that, Damon, you really noticed we had to get a waiver if we're 8 because of the fact that I would have been over at HYT, right? Mm-hmm. So now I felt like in my mind, I'm begging people to let me stay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? For what? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm at DC, like, as a yeoman, and as a yeoman with a clearance, there's plenty of jobs here, right? Like I'm not gonna make myself be that type of person, right? And the other thing that made it solidified for me to make the decision to go ahead and retire was the fact that my son was going in. So, it kind of felt like LeBron and, waiting for Bronny, which may or may not happen, but whatever, right? Nah, respect. But anyway, once my son came in, and a crazy quick story about him, right? I talked to him, I'm like, yo, when you go to see the profiler at MEPS, they're going to try to stick you on Des. Do not let that happen. Mm-hmm. Call me and let me talk to somebody and let that happen and make that happen. And I said, are they going to let you have your cell phone while you're there? Yes, Dad. All right, cool. Call me. But lo and behold, he get there. They like, yo, we're going to send you in on Des as an airman. And I'm like, nah, that ain't going to happen. Mm-hmm. And I get on the phone with the profiler, and my son is sitting there, and he's like, yo, Dad, they said they don't have any yeoman rating because I wanted him to come into my career field because he said he liked it. And I said, all right, cool, hold on. I pick up the phone. I call somebody at NPC that works in placement. And I'm like, yo, didn't you tell me y'all had quotas? Yeah, bro, we do. So they literally, it was like a 5-way phone conversation. It turned into a conference call, right? All I heard was the profiler get up from their desk, go to another phone with their chief, and come back to the phone saying, oh, we found a quota. Funny how that works, right?
Hey.
So he became, right.
Before you continue, I heard some stuff about recruiting, some nefarious shit. And we can't even pod about it till after I retire, bro. It's that bad. For the listeners.
Well, I'm speaking freely.
Yeah. Now, Coby's saying it, but I heard the inside. Like from what Coby's saying, I heard the reasons why they do this type of shit, y'all.
Man.
I can't wait till I talk. I'm going to shut up. I can't wait till I talk.
That's a whole other podcast, man. I'm telling you, bro. It's crazy. But I told him, I said, like, yo, I need you to, if you want to be a yeoman, be a yeoman. Don't be stuck as an Airedale. They giving these kids $10,000 bonuses now. Like when we came in, it was like, get your ass on a bus. Like, come on, bro. Like, so I wanted to definitely make sure he was taking care of him in that aspect. And then once he got in, I had that peace of mind, like, yo, I can start doing the things that I want to do with my family here. My daughter doesn't have to worry about going to another high school to graduate. My wife doesn't have to worry about packing up the house and getting ready to leave again. So it just worked out, right? Mm-hmm. But there was a lot of apprehension too, because of the fact that when you've been doing something for 25 plus years, bro, it insists, it takes a toll on you, right? And when I say it takes a toll on you, oh my God, like, how am I going to adjust to the civilian world? TAP class is nice, but it ain't going to get you to where you need to be mentally to focus on that, right? Mm-hmm. So I have been putting off going to see behavioral health specialists, but I definitely went and did that, man, because I needed his or her assistant. For me, as a female doctor, she's in the Army over at Fort Belvoir, and she was able to help me talk through the process and the next steps because it was just a lot. Because I had, again, just like the season, I had invested so much into my career, right? And you just can't come to a stop, and just adjust course and then say, okay, let me go dive into the civilian world. It's a transitional process. And, that's one of the main reasons I wanted to talk to you guys, because I just wanted to get it out there, because I will say one of my brothers at the ceremony pulled me to the side and said, hey, yo, I'm going to tell you this quick story, bro. I literally had a senior chief that retired less than a year ago, started his terminal leave, and he killed himself. And the reason why he killed himself is because he could not adjust to living that lifestyle. Now, different from me, he didn't have a support system. So it was just him sitting at home by himself, knowing that he couldn't go back to that Navy job anymore. And, you know, and I'm just saying that to say to all our brothers and sisters, no matter their pay grade from E1 to O10, like it's a adjustment process. And if you ignore that, or if you don't have things set up for you, then, you know, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot to lift, because not only are you having to take care of yourself, but you have to take care of your family if you have family members. And so it just needed to be said in that respect.
You know, you hit the nail right on the head, because let me tell you, when I actually leading up to my retirement ceremony, I was having second thoughts.
Right.
And I remember it was like maybe like a day or two before, my mentor, Donella Anderson, shout out to Donella.
Nella. I know Nella.
Nella. That's my homegirl. We go way back. So she just so happened to call me one morning just to check in to see how I was doing. I was like, "I'm so glad you called me." It's not everywhere. Everywhere.
Ugly cry.
I was like, I don't know what to do. And because the thing was, like, I'm now divorced, and then we had decided that the kids were gonna go with him to the East Coast, my ex-husband to the East Coast. So it was like, now I'm having this separation from the Navy. On top of that, I'm having like the separation from my boys. So I'm in this empty ass house. It's so many days I spent with my covers over my head. I don't want to do nothing, like nothing at all. I had to go to see a therapist because I was like, I'm going fucking nuts up in here. I don't know which way to move. I was scared. I didn't know, like, I was like, the outside world just felt so unsafe. And it was like, I need a sponsor. I need a sponsor. Like, we're used to knowing what's next, you know? And then at the time that I was retiring, you know, PSD did that whole reorganization. So they backed up with the DD-214s. Without the DD-214, you can't start your pension. Without the DD-214, you can't start your disability. So I'm like, I don't know when the money gonna run out. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So it was a lot of pressure. And as soon as I stopped working, my phone stopped ringing. And that was a whole nother thing, because I was just like, damn, the Navy don't even need me no more. Like, I felt lost in the sauce. So I get it. It's 100% true.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So it's like, you know, you're basically left to make decisions that you haven't been attributed to making before, right? You're used to picking up the phone and calling a detailer and be like, yo, I'm ready to go. Where am I going?
Right.
You're not making that phone call no more. You calling, you know, your VA doctor to make your next appointment and make sure you make that appointment. And you're right about the 214 process. Like, the longer that takes, the more it's going to delay, because just for people that don't know, when the last day of your Navy service hits, you're going to go an entire month before you see your retirement pay, right? So
if it's on time, if they process
it on time, right? So that whole entire month, hope to God you have some kind of support there, or some kind of rainy day fund put away, because that mortgage got to be paid, them bills got to be paid, that car note got to be paid, and you know, it's a lot, right? And the crazy thing is, you know, one of the side hustles that I started to get into over the course of the last, I'd say since November, December, is reffing. So I'm a reffing basketball now. You know, I played it, coached it, and now I'm reffing, right? And it keeps me active. It keeps me, it keeps my mental up too, which really is good as well, right? But I was talking to one of the senior officials, and I told him, I said, because he asked the same question. He's like, yo, are you going to start working again right away, or are you going to take a break? And I said, yo, I'm taking a break, because I feel like I put myself into that position to where I can do that, because so many of my brothers and sisters have literally left on their Friday retirement ceremony and started work on that following Monday.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that is crazy to me, because not only are you cheating yourself, you're literally cheating your family, right? Because like, who does that? Like you're and some of those people are literally going back into the exact same toxic environment that they were in. And the reason why I use the word toxic, because of the fact that you wouldn't have retired out of that in the first place. And by you being thrusted back into it, now you have no organizational change, you have no growth, and that institutional knowledge is just all the same. So you're going right back into that, right? So I told him, I said, nah, bro, I said, at a minimum, I'm taking a month off just for me and my sanity, for my family, so we can go, do a vacation real quick or something like that. And yeah, I just want to. And what he said back to me is like, it's so many people that cannot say no, right? So many people have to say, yes, I'll take it. I'll take it because I need this financially. I need to be around people. Nah, dog, like you said, I mean, it's cool sometimes to be in the blankets. It's as long as the four walls don't close in on you, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I felt good and liberated in the fact that I'm able to say no, at least for a month or two, before I jump back into the workforce.
And it's crazy because a lot of people I've talked to who want to retire, but they're so afraid of what's on the other side that it's just easier to just stay. Some people are legit like love it and they have fun and blah, blah. But some people like they have been at that point where it's like, I think I'm going to retire. But then it's like, they just kind of, the fear of the unknown just makes them go right back. Like, now I'm just going to re-enlist.
Yeah. Now, and what does that do to like the person, their sellers, the Navy? Like, what does that do? Like, if you just because you can't get out,
just because,
like, what are you like? How are you motivating? Like, that's my opinion. Like, because
you already tired.
There. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be straight though. When I retire, like, I'll be convinced. I talk to my wife all the time. Like, yo, babe, you getting that PhD, right? You getting when I retire. Love you. Hey, babe, I love you, but I'm her biggest fan and supporter because I'm taking like 6 months off, man. You know what I mean? We gonna have a good time before we do something else, man.
Yeah, I had it, man. Sure. I was in the boat too, man. I'm hitting up on that 26, so I had the paperwork and everything, bro. I was done.
You sure did.
I was done. You sure did. We had conversation. It was done. I had the paper, approved everything.
Right.
But they dangled that carrot and gave me that star. So I was like, So now they put me up on I had to think about it, man. And then, to tell you the truth, man, my wife was a supporting it too. She just told me, man, like, you're going to think about this shit if you don't take it. You know what I mean? If you don't do it, you may think about it in the future, like, hey, you had an opportunity and you just didn't take it. So, and then I'm a DC man. My job easy. So it ain't like it's crazy or anything like that.
Until you pull out the 555 and it's not correct. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Hey, that's a whole nother podcast.
Right?
Hey, Damon's situation was kind of like yours, though. And not to speak on Damon's situation, but it's like some other senior chiefs that I used to see at like 26 years. And it seemed like they was literally just holding on for 9, like just holding on just to make Master Chief. It's like, yo, how much more can you do? Like you about to join Decade? Like
yeah, bro.
You about to be
I'd be damn if I'm standing there in a repair locker, man. Nah, bro.
Like you joined the 3MTT?
Nah.
You in the East Wash team? Like, stop it, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I used to feel so bad being a mess looking at them. Like, the results come out, they looking all sad, and I'm like, man, damn, like just do yourself a favor, like go ahead and get it up, So
and some of them waivers, bro, waivers be putting you at 27 and 28. You know what I mean? You just waiting it out. Like, whew. Man.
Yes,
because that's
2 more years on your sentence. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro.
And that's like to some people, 9 is like the finish line for some people. It's like I didn't do anything if I didn't make Master Chief. You know what I mean? Right. And for me, right, this is just me. I feel like that's the wrong attitude to have. I feel like, what we have to have is like to know that what we leave behind and what we build with our people and shit like that. Maybe you don't make 9. We know the Navy got a say in that, right? It ain't just, it's not just your performance, what you do, whatever. Like the Navy, damn, this whole snot. I told you I'm sick. A whole blob of snot.
That shit's
Shout out my mouth. My nose. But yeah, so
I thought she was gonna drop out.
just shout out. I don't know where it's at. It's somewhere. But it's like,
Bruh,
the Navy.
it's on the mic.
I don't see it. But yeah, the Navy, it got a say in that. You know what I mean? So it's not always you. It's not always you. It's not always something you could do. So I always used to feel bad for people like that, man.
Yeah,
rough time.
Most definitely, man. Because you're right, man. You guys saying that you got people that's sitting on the board to put. You can't hold that yourself. You ain't the one to say, okay, I'm gonna make 9. Yeah. If it was up to me, I've been a 9 long time ago. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't right. Like you said, most of other people, man. So yeah, man.
Hey, Coby, I got a question. What made you feel like you needed to talk to behavioral health?
Real transparency. 2 years, 2019, my dad passed, right? And I never really dealt with his passing. One, because of COVID, right? So there was a lot going on with that, a lot of moving pieces, everybody being everywhere. And 2, just because, I had seen it coming. It wasn't something where like it was sudden or something. So I had seen it coming. So, I would take leave. At the time I was stationed in Mississippi, so I was able to go home to Arkansas. It was closer. It wasn't like I was coming from all the way to San Diego to come home. So I had seen the transition in him. And when he passed, I never really dealt with it because I was expected to be that strong person because it was just me and my mom. My sister was kind of the outlier. Again, true transparency, because I know I'm not the only person with a family that may be that way. But she wasn't there. So it was just myself and my mom and, my wife and my family. And of course, all the other family members, his sisters and brothers. But it was a lot that I had to be strong about. And, that happened. And then fast forward, now I'm back in the PCU environment and now we're selling around. Now we're family in San Diego after all the COVID and stuff. And then now I'm transitioning back to DC. I tried while I was in Mississippi to see a therapist, but that was more of one of those Fleet Family Service Center therapists, right? Where they're just in a volunteer status. They're not like a clinical therapist or they're not, titled that, right? But when I got to DC, it was just a lot. The anxiety built up. I had, finally come to the decision of making the decision to retire. It was a lot, right? And not only that, we just bought our first house here because we had been living on base, right? Can't continue to live on base. Got to be able to, if you're going to retire, you can't take the base with you, right? You shouldn't want to stay on the base. You should want your own, right? So bought a house, a lot of changes had happened. And I was just like, I need to go see somebody about this, right? And I talked to a legit clinical therapist here at Fort Belvoir. And like I said, I meet with her probably 2 times a month, if not on a more frequent basis, as needed, for about 30 minutes to an hour. And it just being able to talk through things, being able to hear her perspective and her side of the program, and then my side of the program. And it's crazy, because it goes from the therapist doing all the talking in the beginning. And then as you go on, you guys are sharing the talking a little bit. And then now, as you continue to get better, I say, you're doing most of the talking and you don't even realize it, right? So I was like, dang, look at that. You just shrunk me and I ain't even know it. That's why they call them shrinks, right? Because, the process is kind of crazy and it's that way for a reason. So, respect to all the therapists and the mental therapists, and then all those who take the mental fortitude to say, hey, I probably need to go talk to somebody.
That's what I want to touch on. Hey, Coby, man, big shouts out to you, man. As a man and some of the women out there, man, it's kind of hard to say, okay, I need to go see somebody. You know what I mean? I'm strong. You know what I mean? I want to stand up for the division and I don't want nobody to look at me differently. You know, all this type of stuff that you are thinking about when you're thinking about going to see somebody and talk to. So I want to most definitely give you a shout out, man, to say, okay, it's time for me to go do this for me. You know, because I'm from Mississippi, man. That's another situation too, where you talked about you don't have that closure. Right. I didn't get the closure either. Like I was the same, man, almost the same thing with my mom, man. Almost the same thing. We knew it was coming, you know, and still haven't like really dealt with that though. You know what I mean? And a lot of that time at home, it was just me and her. You know what I mean? Just me and her the whole time, you know, as growing up and she, you know, she was out and into a lot of stuff, but, you know, never really had that closure. So, you know, one day I'm gonna be the same way, man. Like I don't know when, but I do feel like I have to go, you know, I should be talking to somebody about this just to get that out.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So big shouts out to you, man, for that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. Respect.
Yep.
A lot of times it takes for something else to kind of build on top of that. It's like the building blocks. And then all of a sudden it's just like, all right, I can't do it no more. Let me go talk to somebody because I'm about to be from a real one. I can tell you the first time I went, I was ready to run over somebody with my car. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I was having dreams about it. I hated it. It was somebody I hated. Like I hated them so bad. And I'm not really that type of person. And so I just had a lot going on in life too. And it was just like the building block of everything stacking on top. And probably this person probably should not have even affected me as much as they did, but it was just the building block of it, you know? And so I finally went or whatever. And then after that, I stopped going, but then I went closer to the end of my career, just as I saw like the anxiety of the separation of everything. I could kind of feel it coming, like the fear, like I said, the fear of the unknown, like, I don't know what's about to happen. And I don't like not knowing what's next. I don't like knowing like where I'm going to work next, who I'm going to work around, who's already there to catch me when I get there from the airport, to show me around, having that person. And that was one of the main reasons I decided to stay here. My kids are on the East Coast, but I stayed here because I didn't want to then uproot with everything that was going on, to have to uproot and go somewhere else. I was just like, that's a bit much. I think I need to just stay here and at least have that consistency until I'm ready to PCS. PCS somewhere else, until I'm ready to go somewhere else. But, you know, I felt the pressure of, I gotta leave. I gotta leave San Diego, you know, and so it was just like, but why? I don't actually have to, like, and that's the other part of it. Like, you are actually in control, even though you want, it's like that need for someone else to be in control of your life. And now you're in control. You can do whatever you want to do, and you don't know what to do with it. You don't know what to do with that control that you now have. And so I ended up to just being like, why am I stressing myself out trying to leave when I can just stay here? I've already kind of settled here. I've been here since 2016. Like, I don't have to leave. I can do this whole retirement thing my way. And so I think working through therapy helped me to get to that conclusion, because I think I was applying too much pressure on myself. So therapy definitely is a thing that I think that everyone should do, and especially if you are transitioning. So yeah, Coby, I feel you on that. I feel you 100%. Question before you jump into them. Did you have to, like, some people, you know, they go to one therapist and they're good. Did you have to go to like multiple therapists to find the right fit?
I got blessed. I was good with my first therapist, you know. I hope she don't see this, but yeah, she was kind of weird at first. She probably will, because y'all be pumping out numbers, but no, it was kind of weird at first. And I think that was just more of my apprehension, but like one of the things that she has in her office is she has these pillows, right? And she'll give you the pillow and she'll say, hey, look at the wheel chart. She has like a wheel chart on the pillow. and tell me how your mood is today, right? And I'm just like, man, what in the hell kind of, you know? But I'm looking at the pillow and it kind of puts you at ease because as you're talking, you literally had a pillow in your arms, like, you know, you chill. You know, you don't need no couch or bench to lay out on. You just chilling with the pillow and you don't even realize it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so eventually, as you continue to go on, you know, the relationship got better because you were just, again, no pun intended, able to speak freely, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you were able to be yourself, let your hair down, you know, have the conversation and expect results. And I will say one of the things that a lot of people are apprehensive of, two misnomers that people don't need to worry about. One, if you don't TRICARE, it's free. It's literally free. People pay thousands and upon almost hundreds of thousands of dollars for therapy out in the civilian sector. Like real talk for a real therapist that they, especially on the frequency that we see them, right? So one, it's free. And then two, you know, as you get better, they're going to get to the point where, you know, they prescribe meds, but you don't necessarily have to take the medication that they prescribe you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's another misnomer. Like, oh, well, if you're doing therapy, more than likely they got you on all these anxiety pills and everything like that. Like, nah, dog. If you feel yourself in a bad situation and it's a choice between running to the ER or taking this pill to calm you down, then, you know, if it's prescribed to you, then go ahead and do it. But you shouldn't be just popping them just to be popping them just because somebody tells you that you need to do it, because now you may be creating another issue. So, you know, you really have to invest in it and know what it is that you're doing and know why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Man. So you decide to retire, right?
Yeah.
As far as the length of time, right, the time span, right, what's your runway between your decision to retire and then your actual retirement ceremony?
So a year out date.
Okay.
So May, I think 9 results came out in May. It's crazy because February, March, April, May. So Timothy, my son, graduated from boot camp around the same time frame as the 9 results came out. So I had already made up my mind. I was either going to go as a 9 or I was going to go as a senior chief that's about ready to retire, right? And I went as an 8, ready to retire. And that's cool. I was good with that, right? But again, like the overwhelming amount of anxiety that I had, knowing that I just made that decision a few weeks earlier and now I'm back at where it started with my son going through this process. Oh my God. Like my daughter literally had to calm me down that day and say, Dad, you all right? You good? Like, you know, like I'm here with you. Like we're here to celebrate Timothy. Like, and you know, and when you're military, they gonna take care of you. So you're not sitting out there with the rest of the parents. You sitting on the grand stage with everybody else from boot camp, with all the RDCs and everybody else. Like you're sitting at the top. And it was a lot. It really was, because again, in my mind had clicked over to you're transitioning, right? You're transitioning from your son is now literally taking the helm. And you have made a decision that you have to now live with, right? And a year can go by fast when you got a lot of stuff on your plate, like Tish was saying a second ago, right? Because you got to know where you're going to go, what job you're going to work. Have I been to TAP class? You know, I've heard all the horror stories about 214s and everything else. So you got a lot of stuff that you have to be able to accomplish in the course of that year. Oh, by the way, you still got a job to do every day, right? So you driving to work at the Pentagon, doing that job, and then leaving to be able to do appointments. And, you know, it's a lot, you know, going to see a homeowner, searching for a home, like it's a lot. But the crazy thing is, and the good thing is that, you know, and Damon kind of touched on this a second ago, your sailors are looking at you, right? And not only that, they can see if you're unhappy trying to chase 9. You know what I'm saying? Like the CMCs always say, don't chase the stars, let the stars chase you. So if you're done trying to get to that where you need to be, then you need to, you know, go another route. And I'm cool with that. And I had made my mind that I would be cool with that. And I needed my sailors to see that. So like the conversations that I was having, which is crazy, at the career development board with my sailors, you don't have to stay Navy. Like, if you want to transition or if you want to do something else, then I'm going to support you and help you do that. You know what I'm saying? And my mindset had changed on a lot over the course of, you know, me ending my career. So, yeah.
Yeah, you like closing a chapter on like, you cement and leaving your legacy at this point, right? Because you leave a command to go to another command. You're not really closing out like that legacy chapter. You going somewhere else. You got more stories to make, more things to kind of create. When you retire, and that's it. Like your legacy is whatever you did, and they talk about this at the leadership, leaving a legacy. But whatever you did, that's it. It's cemented. It's etched in stone. This is my last year. And so like, what's going through, because, some people, they take off the pack, right? So it's like that twilight kind of year or whatever like that. But I don't believe like you would have done that. I don't think, people like me, people like Damon, I don't think you're going to take off the pack. I think it's like that. I'm a kind of like liken it to like a farewell tour for like an NBA player, like Kobe farewell 100%. Tour. Like, this is my last game at the Garden. This is my last, so it's like, so how are you approaching just that whole year, man, as far as leaving that legacy?
Well, I mean, again, it goes into preparedness, right? Making a decision, sticking with the decision. And now everything is a checklist. Like my calendar became my best friend because literally I'm just lining things up on my calendar and I'm checking them off and I'm just going back like, dang, I missed that on that date. Well, let me move this to another date. You know what I'm saying? Like ensuring that I'm doing the things that I need to do to prepare myself, because I think the anxiety and the angst comes when you're not prepared, right? And we all know that. So, making the decision and then setting that checklist, whether it be going down and talking to your PSs and your CPPA and saying, hey, what do I need to do to prepare for retirement? Because that year just goes by so fast, and I can't say that enough. But, going down that checklist, knocking those things out, investing in yourself, knowing that it's okay to go to your leadership and say, hey, I need some time off. I need some days off here. I need a block of time here. I have appointments here. But then at the same time, in the non-dropping your pack mindset, you need to continue to invest in your command because that's your primary job, right? So if that means that you need to get up a little bit earlier to work a certain amount of hours so that you can leave early, then do that. Don't cheat your command, because you'll just end up cheating yourself in the end when you get to your next job, because, it makes you become lazy. Right. So, just having that checklist, being able to do that, being able to look at that calendar and say, hey, I'm knocking these things out. I feel prepared. I'm going to see my therapist or whatever it is that makes you get to that point where you make that decision.
Yeah. And I know you're a YN, so you've probably seen a lot of people process out, but like just with all the multiple rates, no matter how senior some of us are, like a lot of us don't know how to retire. A lot of us being senior, we might know how to transfer a seller. We might know how to do a homes package, but we never retired. So some people make Master Chief and don't know how to, don't know that process and retiring. What was the hardest part of that process for you?
Well, I will say that the military has changed now, right? Because back in the day, when somebody said they're about to retire, okay, bye. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like, sign whatever you need to sign, bye, right? When I went to TAP class, the lady reminded us that this is mandatory now. You will go to TAP. You will do X, Y, and Z on your checklist before you process out of the Navy. Because if you don't, then we're not letting you go, because guess what? We're sick of people going back to the VA saying, hey, they didn't allow me this time. They didn't do X, Y, and Z. And then guess what? Now they're liable for it. So, and again, it goes back to the suicide rate, because if you're just kicking somebody out and they're not prepared, then now you have homelessness rate going up because nobody was prepared. Like it's a lot to it, right? So they made that process mandatory, and respect to them for doing that, because people need to know and need to hear these things. But I would say one of the biggest adjustments for me was just stepping into it. Stepping into the process of separating. And then knowing who I can talk to and who I can hear from and get that sound advice, right? Because some people are going to be like, nah, you need to do this. You need to do that. I had one of my good friends that's in the military, that's in a high ranking job. I'm not going to put them out there like that. They were like, nah, you need to get this one more shot. I was in the tank. You was at the crunch. Like, nah, bro.
No, sir. No, sir.
Like, bro, this ain't the Sailor of the Year boy, dog. This is like, come on, bro. This is my life. Like Coby, bro, your name was at the crunch line. Like, well, how come you didn't push that mother over? Like, come on, dog. Like, come on, bro. Like,
tell me I was at the
right?
crunch.
Right, like, be for real.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they reaching out and like Tim said earlier, they trying to pull you back in. Like, nah, dog. Like I made my decision. I'm cool with it. I'm gonna go forward, and yeah. Are you gonna have second thoughts? Absolutely. It's crazy because you hear the stories about people who have literally done their retirement and come back on active duty. And I'm just like, are you serious? You really did that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, well, yeah, because my terminal leave date didn't end to this date. So I had time, and every year during the season, we always see it, these 19, 20-year first classes that had their retirement paperwork in, but the board put them on a list because the quotas and the numbers are so low that we need these people. And now they're faced with a decision where they just told their family, hey, we about to retire and do X, Y, and Z. But they just put the anchor on me. Now I got to make a decision for that, and respect, because, I've talked to chiefs and senior chiefs in the mess who got that next star before they started their senior enlisted marketplace thing, got that next star or got that anchor. And they said, I'm still retiring. I appreciate it, but I'm still retiring. I mean, now that's on you if you don't want to take that high 3 because that money is different. A lot of people don't know about that. They're like, oh, I retired as a chief. Nah, dog, you retired as a first class.
We need to talk about that more because a lot of people don't know about that, man.
They
don't know that. High three is a real deal, right? Because they're going to pay you at the highest 3 years that you served at your rank, right? So a lot of people don't know that. And, I had this senior chief tell me that. And she's like, nah, I just put on a star. Well, they messed up my pay. Like, this really going off on social media. I'm like, nah, they lied to you.
You ain't know.
Your check gonna say E7.
Right.
And that's all you get.
So you get to leave a legacy. You get, well, not just the legacy, you actually get to pass the baton because you got your son. How that feel,
That's
man?
dope.
How that feel for real?
So it feels like I'm still in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're coaching and, you're no longer shooting ball, but you're still able to be part of that, be around that. Right. Yeah. It feels like I'm still in the game because I already told Timothy, he hadn't done his first evaluation yet, but you're not signing that eval till I see it. And he's like, all right, Dad, cool. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to let them screw you like they screwed me because, I've had people that talk to me and be like, oh, yeah, that looks good. And next thing you know, you got these fluffy words in your eval and, might be or has the potential. Nah, bruh. Yeah. Unless they told you that and documented that, we're going to go with this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I get it too. Oh,
no, absolutely, bro. Nah, sis, nah, ain't gonna happen. Just like that phone call at MEPS. I need to holler at that real quick when you sign it.
I wish I would have did that.
Hey, bro, I got him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy because in my retirement ceremony, I mentioned this. There was a 7-year chief in my retirement ceremony, and first duty station, second duty station, beginning of third duty station, he putting on anchors, right? And that's because of the attrition levels in the Navy now. The times have changed, right? If you're doing the things that the board says you need to do and the quotas are there and every year, literally, they're turning in quotas because they don't have enough qualified candidates, you're going to get selected. So I told my son the same thing. I'm like, yo, you're going to continue to knock these wickets out and we're going to get you set up to where you can be a chief in less than 10 years, and then try to go from there. And those are the standards that I have set for myself and set for him at the same time. And he's ready for that challenge. So yeah, I'm loving it.
It's definitely a blueprint. It's definitely a blueprint, a way to do it. So it's all over now, right? The career is over. Yeah. You did it. You done it. What's the highlight of your career? What would you say if you could grab one single moment and make it the highlight of your career? What would it be?
I guess just having the kids and being able to see them grow up, with my wife and, not have to worry about, a lot of people see it and they hear the social media influencers talk about it. Like, we ain't had to worry about bills. We ain't had to worry about, getting fed. Yeah, the things get tight. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Especially when you're at E5 and you're having children and stuff like that. But, as you continue to go up the rank pole, you see that you can do more for your family, right? And so just being able to have the children and see them grow up and mature to the level that they've been able to and see the things that they accomplished, and just knowing that their patience, right? Which their patience when it comes to losing those friends because it's time for dad to PCS, right? Mm-hmm. Losing those friends because, you told them that you stay in touch with them, but it really didn't happen that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, so again, that's another thing where you're talking in your mind, talking through the process of saying, hey, I'm definitely about to retire because now, my children are at a level where I don't need to continue to pull them from this, because eventually what's going to happen is they're going to hold that against you. Right. That's the way I feel. Not everybody's family may be like that, but that's the way it clicks in my mind, because now I'm cheating them out of things that they need to do because I can stay in place. I've created not necessarily wealth, but I've created a wealth in my family and a wealth in my investments. And I need to now allow them to be able to do things. So just investing in them, seeing them do things, not missing out because, you're underway on birthdays and all these other things, just knowing that you can be there for moments. It means a resounding peace to you, and it gives you that peace of mind when you're able to do that for them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we talked about this a couple of times. On one episode, we ain't put the conversation out. That's kind of weird. We didn't do it, but another episode we kind of touched on it. If your daughter came up to you and said she wanted to join the Navy, what would you tell her?
Huh? Why you gotta talk about that with me? No, I'm just kidding. Crazy, because I've talked to Natalie about that, and she's like, "Nah, Dad, I ain't feeling that." You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. I see the things that it has done for you and Timothy. She respected the retirement ceremony process. She really loved that. Yeah. She loved the security of being able to be around the base and the security of, when it comes to dealing with issues out in town, because Lord knows these high schools and all these shootings and all these other things going on. Like, she sees that process and she sees those things, and she sees the pluses and the minuses. But Natalie's that person that is so independent minded. And I brought this up in my ceremony, that she is just like, nah, Dad, I'm set, I'm focused. And my baby girl is killing it in basketball. Like, she just got MVP. She made first team district and region. Like, she's crushing it. But she's doing that too in her academics. And she has a focus in her mind to become a doctor. And I'm going to do everything I can to support that. And I don't see her asking that. But if she wanted to, then, would my worry factor go up? Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. But it's crazy you mentioned that, because when Timothy went to his first school prior to A school, no, it was after A school, his C school. It was in Norfolk, Virginia, right? So DC, Norfolk, down the street, right? Literally, after you get through the tunnel. Yeah. But we took him down there to his C school, right? And again, permission to speak freely. That place was a shit show. You go to the barracks down there, I'm talking about, it's nasty as hell. I'm talking about roaches, like the bathroom lights were nasty.
Dumbo in there
he ain't in them. He ain't in them. I ain't never seen no blue lights in no damn, he on the good side of the base. The E3 and below side of the base where the tires flat on the cars. Like, bruh, like, are you serious right now? Like, I literally still have pictures on my phone. And my wife was with me, so she's like, "Dang, this how y'all treat y'all sailors? This what you gonna do about it?" I'm like, "Yo, I'm hatching,
Coby.
hatching it, bro."
I bought the blue light.
I'm like, bro. I'm like, we went to check in with the CS2 at the front desk, and she like, just sign this, do that, and I'm like, huh? huh?
Yeah.
Like, you see this thing right here? Like,
Yeah.
excuse me?
I don't care.
And
Man.
like, oh, you a chief? Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Like,
okay.
nah, bro, it shouldn't have to be like that. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to flex like that. But yeah, my son, like, I'm talking about, it was nasty. I was scared to leave that man there. And again, the whole ride home. Now, like I said, that ride was short on the way down there, but on the way back, I'm listening to it and getting it from my wife. And I'm just like, all right, check it out. I'm calling somebody CMC on Monday. And I'll be damned if I didn't, bro. I went and talked to the CMC. I talked to the base CMC. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, during his C school class, the base CMC stopped by to talk to Timothy and said, your dad called. Like, can we talk after this on the first break? I'm not lying to you, man. And, just having that influence and that power, like you need to be able to see that because, our children and, are going through this process and it's not good because, some of those kids are going through their first duty station and it's like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why they get out. And, we ask why the attrition rate the way is the way it is. And, you just hate to see that for your children. So, yeah,
bro.
No, absolutely.
And they don't have parents that been in the game that to see something.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And like I live in the barracks right now, right? And I'm so happy living in the barracks, especially right before going and doing a command tour, because it's like I'm living in the shit that, I'm see my junior sellers going through and, and everything like that. So I'm getting the firsthand experience of really what's happening in these barracks,
Oh,
mine is okay. Like my barracks ain't bad. You know what I mean? But I'm in the E3 below. I'm in the E3 and below joint. So, it ain't the greatest, but.
You at NOB or you at
I'm at NOB. It was like just on the 5th floor, man. Somebody ripped the sink off the wall, man. Just today, group text right before we started the pod, man. That's what's happening. So,
bro, when you walk in the washroom and every other washer and dryer say out of order, bad. Like, bro, when are y'all gonna come fix this shit, man? Like, come on, bro.
It's about we got like it's a sign everywhere. Like anything you could do, it's a sign telling people like not to abuse it, not to abuse it.
Don't abuse it.
It'd be a damn door handle. It'd be a damn door handle. Like, hey, you can't just lean on the door handles and keep playing with the door handles. Somebody stole the TV out the lounge earlier this year.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They stole the TV.
Hey, Dumbo, real quick. Hey, Coby, I talked about this story before. I know you talking about your kids, man. So my son got C school and he comes to San Diego for his C school, man, right?
Okay.
On a Sunday. And he coming from Japan.
Okay.
Nobody's there. And it's like 5 or 6 kids. They're literally out there sitting at the airport. And then he didn't even know we was coming. Right? We knew he was coming to San Diego. We were going to sit out there and we was watching. Me, my wife, and daughter. And my other son, we just watching him because it's Sunday. Nobody in school. So we just watching him, see what he doing or whatever. Right? We're going to surprise him.
Right.
I get there and I have to go in freaking senior chief mode there, man.
Hey,
like I get there,
it be like that,
nobody's there with these kids. No, and I ain't even let him ride with me. Like I told him to go with them because we got him an Uber, we got him everything so they can get to the base. So I told him, hey, don't ride with me, just ride with your guys because all them IT. So I'll ride with all the IT buddies and you guys go to the base.
Right.
I get to the base again. They don't know what's going on. They get there, they got orders. They don't have they travel card. Like, how you traveling? Like, they don't have nothing, man. It was so crazy, man. I remember talking about this before on the pod, man. But you're right, man. They just sitting they sent my son down there with like nothing. He didn't know what the hell was going on.
Right.
Man. It's crazy.
Right. And again, it goes back to that old school video we used to watch, the first 72, right? And you just like, is it going to be this way or is it going to be this way? Like, which one,
Yeah. What's next? Yeah. What's next for you?
So I've been interviewing for some program manager jobs out here in the DC area, and then closer to my rate, like executive assistant, HR roles. And they're like a dime a dozen out here in DC. I think as long as you have a security clearance, as long as you have some of that institutional knowledge on working in the government and working in the DC area and working with DOD, like I think it's an easy transition. But again, you have to give your time self to transition. Like, again, just to reiterate, I'm not that person that's going to leave on Friday at my retirement ceremony and go back in on Monday.
Yeah.
Like, I want to have that challenge there where, I'm, mentally preparing myself and then stepping into that career field. Like, it's good to be able to turn down job offers, and it's good to be able to negotiate at the same time and say, well, I'm cool with working this set of hours, or I'm cool with working 4 days in the office and 1 day remotely, so I can adjust my mindset based on what it is that I'm doing. And when you give that to people, they respect it, and they're going to give you that, right? Because if not, they're just going to bring you into the job and tell you, all right, this is it. These are your hours. You got to realize that you have that that power to be able to say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it. Okay, cool. If you don't want to hire me, because, I'm still going to get a retirement check eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going to get that disability check.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm cool. Like my homeboy in San Diego, he's a retired Master Chief. He already told his family he working at Costco, and I'll be damned if he didn't send a picture to the group chat of him working at Costco on that first month or two after his retirement, because that's what he said he was going to do. Like, not to say in the mindset of, hey, I don't need you, you need me, but it's literally like that. You know what I'm saying? Because again, with those two checks, and then Costco, you getting about $70,000 a year, depending on where you are. You still good. You're still living able to maintain, right? So anything else is an added bonus. And
Right.
and if it gets to the point where you're dependent upon that, then that turns into greed, and it doesn't turn into a want. It turns into a need, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, bro, I'm just trying to transition over into something that I'm comfortable with, but something that's going to continue to challenge me and challenge my mind and be able to help out where needed, right? I think being in the DC area and staying here, I'm still able to be that mentor to a lot of these sailors in this area. I already told some of the first classes that I've worked with and helped throughout and prepare for this season. The board results should be out next week. So I'm going to help them when it comes to doing their package. I'm going to help them when it comes to the season. I'm going to help the chiefs and senior chiefs in the mess that don't really have that knowledge of running season in DC, so that they don't end up on the cover of Navy Times. So it's a lot of things that I can continue to do to help my mind and then keep me occupied in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Because it's some people out there after they retire, they change their number.
Right. Exactly. Right.
They change their number. I've had so many sailors contact me, either text message, social media, and they'd start off with with Chief, and I'd be like, "Yo, this Tisha, what's up?"
Exactly, yeah.
But they still reach out though, because they don't care anything about the fact that you retired. They just know that they need help, and they still gonna reach out to you. But some people will change their damn number, and they are just like, "Don't call me." Like,
I definitely want to be there. I mean, I got a retirement ceremony I'm doing next week, helping somebody out. Like, I definitely want to stay engaged right now. Like, I just don't want to rip the tape off and I want to ease down this slope, and then, talk to me a year from now. I might be like, man, fuck the nigga. I mean, I'm just kidding, but
Best decision ever made.
Yeah. What advice would you give somebody that's about to retire if they ask you?
Pray about it, first of all, and then make sure that you're talking to your family. If you don't have a family, talk to your loved ones. If you don't have loved ones, literally pay attention in that TAP class, because they're going to give you a lot of good advice. I wasn't able to do Skill Bridge because my replacement wasn't going to be on board until after my retirement ceremony, but I've heard a lot of great things about the Skill Bridge program. So definitely take advantage. There's so many resources out there for us that'll help you through this transition. So, don't be scared. I mean, are you going to be apprehensive about it? Yes. It's just like telling a sailor, just because they didn't get selected, keep your head up, you'll do it next time. Nah, they still gonna have a bad 2 or 3 days. And especially if the results out on Friday, you getting drunk, you getting messed up. Don't call me for duty. You know what I'm saying? Like let them sailors be. Section leaders, let them sailors alone, man. Give them their time to heal up, man, because it was tough. And you know how it was when we went through it. But, yes, you will have your reservations, but, talk to us, talk to people like me and Tish, and, just be able to pick our brain and say, hey, I think that it's utterly important to hear from somebody who's been through the process. Because Lord knows, I feel like sometimes I'm getting on people's nerves when I talk to them. I'm like, hey, sis, tell me about this. Or, hey, bro, what do you think about this? But you're not,
Right.
That's what the retirees are here for, to help out with this process, because it is absolutely a process. I don't care if you've done 4 years or done 26 or 30 plus years. It's a process, right? Because there's a lot of lifestyle changes, right? And for those people who have done 4 years, you've gone from being TRICARE Prime, your bills are paid, your food was on the table, you were going to get those 3 square, you had a roof over your head, to, okay, you got to do it on your own. You know what I'm saying? So trust the process. I know that's a common thing, but trust the process and know that there's people there to continue to be that support system, because hearing that our brothers and sisters are killing themselves because they can't handle the transition, it's just unacceptable.
Yeah,
that's crazy
for sure. Yeah. And I tell you that when Nella called me in that moment, when it was like a day or two before my ceremony, she is what helped me get through. She was like, everything's gonna be all right. She called somebody else who I didn't even know, who had just retired too. And they were just both on the phone, like, you're going to be fine. It's going to be straight. This is what's going on in our life now. Like, it's good over here. It's good over here.
And that's what I keep hearing.
Yes. I was like, okay, all right, let me calm down and just, mosey my way on over. And another friend that I have, she didn't even retire. She was in for maybe like 5 years or something. And she's been in the civilian world for a while, and she works HR. She helped me on negotiating my salary, because I didn't know anything about that. So she was helping me negotiate my salary, helping me with my resume. So yeah, it's definitely people on the other side that you can reach out to and ask those questions. And like you said, like, I felt like I was getting on their nerves asking them questions, and they never made me feel like I was getting on their nerves. I'm just going to keep on calling.
Right.
I'm still calling, asking. I asked my supervisor 1,000 questions a day, just trying to learn the GS system, how to promote. And I'm just like, so in the Navy, we have this thing called a ladder. That's me at work. No lie. We have this thing called a ladder, and it tells us how to progress in our career. Do y'all have anything like that? I'm over here asking questions. I'm asking questions like, this leave process, right? So what's this and that, and what's the policy for this? Because I'm used to having a policy. What's the policy? I need to read up on this. Oh, my retirement, I should be getting 104 days of disability leave to go to my appointments. And so it's like that stuff that kind of comes out through other people. I'm sure they said it in TAP. So it was just like a lot of information all at once. And so the stuff that I didn't retain, now I'm getting it from those other people who are like, hey, ask about this. Hey, ask about that. So definitely, I agree. Reach out to other people.
Yeah. Hey, Coby, so I want to kind of close this out with a game, right? So we had made this game. I lost it and I recreated it because I think it's kind of cool. And you retired, so this going to be cool. I'm going to just give you 2 options. You got to pick one, right?
All right.
You're going to say why you picked it, right?
You can. Yeah, you can say why you picked it. Some of these might just be terms, so it's like, hey, what term do you say? Or some of these might be like things you prefer. Like what do you prefer? But you just got to pick one. Yeah, you can say why you picked it. So the first one is PTS or Seaway.
PTS. Perform to serve.
Perform to serve. I had to think for a second. I thought you left out the D. Pause. But yeah, PTS or Seaway. Seaway?
Okay, Seaway. All right.
Yeah.
I don't need an explanation for that one.
Yeah, okay.
BRS or High 3?
High 3. Absolutely.
Yeah.
High 3. Yeah. Hey, because we talked about that.
Yeah. And I think people need to get educated on BRS, because BRS is way more than I thought it was. So I think, and we talked about it, and I'm trying to I reached out on a pod for a specialist. Ain't nobody Roger up. We need somebody to talk about it.
Ain't nobody able to speak on it?
We need somebody to talk about BRS for real. Because it ain't just half and half. It's more than that. So we need somebody to talk about it. Yeah. Hey, beard or clean shave?
Beard, bro. Hey, it's crazy. it's crazy because I was thinking about this. I was like, dang, what if we run out of stuff to talk about? I'm gonna talk about beards. Nah, I didn't really start growing my beard until season, right? Because like them motherfuckers get on my nerve. Them selects, like that was one of the things that got me, right? Like I was like, bro, when I got up in the morning, I swear to God, like it was me. Again, I felt like one of the selectees because, you know, you got to be out there for PT in the morning. Yeah. You got to close out the day with them cats. You got to brag brief the CMC. So I was just like, man, I ain't shaving, bro. So beard game, bro. 100%.
Yeah, I got sick during my season. That's how like into it I was, bro. I got sick. And I actually had to take 3 days off. That's how sick I was. I had to stop for 3 days. Like, it's like, hey, Master Chiefs in the duty section are out of the duty section.
Nah, they need to be in the duty section. Like, what y'all doing? Like, for real, be for real. Nah, bro. I love you, Dane. But hey, bro, y'all gotta put y'all weight, man.
Get in that section, man. Y'all the pros.
Cause y'all always got something to say. Like, well, okay, what's in it?
And y'all the pros. Don't it make the section better? It's the master part of it.
Yeah, when I used to run duty section, it's there.
Come run this shit then.
Section 9. Shit.
Trying to be wise all the time, man. Trying to be wise.
Man. Yeah.
Black rank tag or camo?
Black.
Yeah, black for
like,
sure.
Bro, I want my joint to stick out, man. I'm so sick of these doggone sailors calling me captain and chief and whatever else. Like, bro, you don't see this star? You don't see this? Like,
Navy Times or AFN?
I mean, I really stopped messing with Navy Times when they became like a satire thing. Like, it seemed like everything. And they used to, back in the day, they used to put like the full list of selectees. They don't give a shit about that no more. They too busy worried about who got fired, right?
That's it.
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me something uplifting. So, yeah,
AFN. LS or SK?
LS. Like, storekeepers, y'all. I don't know. Hey, they sketch, man. But yeah, LS.
RS or SH?
I felt like the SHs gave me a better haircut. So yeah, we're gonna go with the SH.
Crank?
The lineup was a little bit more crispy. Go ahead.
Crank or FSA?
I dealt with the FSAs more as a chief, so I respected the FSAs more. Crank. Yeah.
All right. D-set or Decade?
So the way it was explained to me, it's an East Coast, West Coast thing. So depending on where you are, it's D-set or Decade. But, you know, hold on a second.
He gonna say D-set, man.
He gonna say Decade, I think.
Bro, I'm gonna say D-set, bro.
Said D-set.
Hey, I'm gonna say D-set. I had my joint like this too. I was that guy in the locker, man. I was that guy. They're like, straighten your head out. I'm like, all right. Let's go. Yeah, D-set.
Cordon Bleu or Manicotti?
What they call them joints? The Cordon Bleu, they call them
they call them hamsters.
Hamsters, yeah.
You like them?
Hamsters got me through some duty section nights when somebody was supposed to be going to get some food out in time.
For real?
And they didn't come through. So yeah.
I hate them things.
The only one who don't
in the
like
mess.
it.
And cereal in the mess. So yeah.
Dang.
Bro, I used to go in on them hamsters, man.
I'm telling you.
100%.
Utilities or type 3s?
Type 3s.
Type 3s or dungarees?
Type 3s. Dungarees was sketch, but go ahead.
Dungarees a little different. Tupac or the regular coveralls?
Tupac.
They the new joints. Did you see
what Tupac got to do it? Nah,
yeah, you see the new joint?
He don't know about that new joint yet, man. The new joint.
Tupac, I thought I was going to hear Biggie next.
Like, he stopped listening, looking at the Nav Admins a long time ago. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
The two-piece coverall joints. Did you see them yet?
Nah, I stopped looking at that. Because, I mean, every day in the Pentagon, they see the khakis. Or we got to the point where it's NWUs that for a minute there, they wouldn't let us wear NWUs in the Pentagon. So nah. What was the other choice?
It don't matter because
exactly.
Hey,
the other choice.
360, CPO 365.
65. And the reason why I say that is because I actually use that program and as the First Class Association president, like that 365 thing was like really a big thing. So CPO 365.
Curl up or plank?
I still like the curl up. Like, man, that's right. I need to put it on my VA claim. But
I'm telling you.
Curl up. I appreciate that. I gotta make a note.
Command picnic or holiday party?
Don't like the term picnic, so holiday party. Yeah. Small. I know you have a balanced audience, so we'll just leave it at that. But holiday party.
You know why? I think we talked about it on the episode before about that. Because I don't call it picnic either. I be like, you.
I say barbecue. I'm like, nah, we having a picnic. Like, barbecue.
I do the same thing.
Okay, seeing you. Why you so adamant about that? Just know, send me your survey is coming up.
Small boy or big deck?
On a small boy. So yeah, I would say a small boy. I think being on a big deck, especially like when I was on a carrier, like running into 5,000 motherfuckers a day, like it gets there. You know what I'm saying? And again, I harp on it a thousand times. You see more people committing suicide at sea on a big ship than you do a smaller ship. Because you're there to be able to talk to people, but literally, I never ever went out to sea on a deployment on a big deck and somebody didn't commit suicide by jumping over the side, right? So it really brings things into perspective. And I know that this is game, but it's something that we actually really need to be able to talk about. Being in that smaller environment on a small boy, you kind of felt people like, okay, yeah, something's wrong here, or something's right. And you're able to know the CO's expectations without having to hear it from 20 other motherfuckers before it gets to you on a big deck. Yeah. So yeah, small boy.
Yeah. Hey, DMAT phase 1 or DMAT phase 2 or DMAT phase 3? No, that's just a joke. That's just a joke. Hey, IET or flying squad?
Flying squad.
Okay. Pizza and wings or surf and turf?
Bryant trying to be out longer. So pizza and wings, bro. Surf and turf mean you gonna be here for a while.
on a pod that we probably won't release, I was schooling this civilian on like what surf and turf be, man. He's like, I thought it meant a good thing. I was like, that shit don't mean nothing good, man. Hey, Friday duty. This the one right here. Friday duty or Sunday duty? Friday.
I'm not trying to. Yeah, Sunday I got to go right back to work. You know what I'm saying? Like I wake up to work.
Yeah.
Friday I'm walking off the ship. You know what I'm saying?
Saturday morning.
So, yeah.
I'm out.
Saturday morning I'm walking off the ship. So,
Saturday duty the worst, right? I think we all agree that Saturday duty is.
Yeah, it's kind of like
because you never leave the ship for like 2 weeks straight. You own the ship every day for like 2 weeks straight.
Depending on your duty section, if you're 4 section or 6 section or 8 section, whatever. So yeah.
TIS advancement or the exam. TIS was the new 3 years in the billet before they can advance. That's for to petty officer. So they got to do what 36 months, right, y'all? I mean, I don't want to be wrong.
I think it's like 36 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when you say TIS to a yeoman, that means transfer information sheet.
It's time of service. It was the new time of service joint where it's like you got to do 3 years to put on E4 no matter what. So if you come in as an E2, you got to do 3 years. You come in as an E1, you got to do 3 years.
Nah. And what was the other? You said advancement exam?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the exam. I mean, I'm cool with the 6, 9, whatever, but people need to be able to move up. And if you're doing TIS, it's kind of stalling you out a little bit. So yeah.
MAP or make it off the exam?
MAP. And, the reason why I say that, and I feel like you earned it, right? Because I had the opportunity when I was in Tampa to be mapped to, or at that time it was called CAP, to be capped to an E6, but I didn't get it, right? And I felt like by earning it myself and making E6, I I felt like it was cool or whatever, but MAP speaks to the sailor because of their leadership and saying, hey, this person is ready. So, sometimes you just got to believe in the leadership when they're making a decision. So, yeah, I say MAP.
I think I know the answer to this one already.
Here we go.
Senior enlisted marketplace, the old school way to make.
Nah, bro, the old school way. I mean, I get it. And I know our time is probably running short. I get it. I know that they want to do it because so many people are running with stars or so many people are running with anchors and they're not staying true to billets that need to be filled and are critically gapped, like red line billets that are keeping ships from going underway because you don't have somebody there. But you got to trust the process. And if the process is said institutionally that you can promote people, go back to having them sign page 13s. Like, bruh, if I give you this star, you're going to sign this page 13 saying that you will continue service and, you're going to be detailed wherever. Yeah. But, if I feel like if I earned it and the board said I earned it, put it on me and then watch me work.
Yeah.
But if I earned it and, I say that I'm getting out, then maybe there's a conversation that needs to be had between the command and MPC to say, hey, my person is willing to turn their quota back in. And I think what happens when those quotas get turned in, sometimes they're just being turned in and they're not having special boards for that next person on the crunch line that could have possibly promoted that was still hungry and wanted to continue their career. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because every year people are turning in quotas saying, nah, I'm getting out. Okay, cool. So give it to the next person that would have been on that crunch line and we won't have all these gaps, these critical gaps.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So, yeah.
That's a good point, man. Because the officers do that. Yeah. With the LDO, CWO, they have another list.
Hell yes.
You know what I mean? Somebody that's like 4 or 5 of them sitting. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, man. This the last one out of those. And for this one, it got to be any one of these perfect, right? So the perfect version of these, right? So shore duty or deployment?
Deployment?
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Why do you say it has to be perfect?
Because I don't want to, it can't be a shore duty versus a COVID deployment, a shore duty versus deployment. Ports. So it's like shore duty versus a deployment where you're getting healthy ports, you're getting healthy memories.
Yeah, definitely not a COVID deployment, but like a deployment where you can leave the ship and go out there and see the town and, do the MWR stuff and all that. Yeah, I like
it's
that.
Nothing like, I don't think I hit a real deployment in a long fucking time, man.
I feel the same way, man.
Yeah. It's nothing like that, man. For like I be telling the youngsters, it's nothing like a real good.
Just the memories that are made with your brothers and your sisters being out there, being at the clubs. Like, come on, bro. Yeah. Like, hold on. I feel like Vegas.
You know what I mean? How about the time before you even go on that deployment, though? All the sweat and tears you didn't put in to get to that point.
Yeah.
All the drills, all the shit you didn't work for. Like,
man.
I had to tell Angeline, man, she was talking all this family stuff, we just had a baby, the family, and talk about commands. I'm going to go to him like, yo, babe, I want you to know, like, I want to go on another deployment before I get out the Navy. Like, I want to leave for 6 months and go see the world on the Navy's dime one more time. Like,
yeah.
I really do. Right. You know what I mean? Because we don't.
It's fun.
It's some of that deployment is like a once in a lifetime opportunity for some people. Like, I wouldn't have been able
100%.
to go to Rome, Turkey, Greece, all of that in like 1 6 month period. Yep. Like, no, we can't afford that.
Jebel Ali, Abu Dhabi.
Hey, speaking of deployment, hey, let me tell you something crazy too about deployments, man. Like you said, once in a lifetime. So I've been on several deployments, but let me tell you a big difference for me was when I went as a E1, E2, and then I went as with a little bit more season. You know what I mean? I got to enjoy that first deployment. I ain't enjoyed nothing, man.
Yeah,
you enjoyed that. But when you a little bit more seasoned, man, now you actually going on them MWR events.
Yeah.
You actually going to see the towns and see this. So some people may not get with that one deployment and they built that first one. That's it. Yeah. They didn't get a chance to enjoy, you know what I mean, going to these places. So
and that's why I want to go, man. While I'm older, man. I want to go take pictures and make memories because I didn't make no memories back. It was blackout. It was blackouts and all types of bullshit. You know what I mean? I try to make some
money
memories,
a little bit better. Your money a little bit better now too. So
man, my first deployment, they pulled my paycheck got pulled. I wasn't getting no paycheck for about 3 months.
Hey, Damon hit it on the head though, but I mean, like, being able to do it as a junior sailor is different than doing it as a senior sailor because, just being in the club, chilling with your people, like seeing crazy shit go down, worried that your taxi might not make it back to the brow before your motherfucking ship leaves, and people missing movement. Like just having that process and being able to tell those stories, man, it's just crazy, man. But it's so fun. Yeah, just being part of it.
Yeah. Hey, man. Hey, Coby, I ain't got no more questions. I ain't got no more questions, man. I think I asked all the questions I had, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate, just this opportunity for us to have one of these conversations. It's like a pure, for the listeners, it's like a pure conversation, right? We ain't do this for no social media, none of that. It's like we just chilling, talking, so I appreciate this, man. And I can't wait for people to hear it. I think it's a lot that they're going to gain from it, man. And I got your number, so if I need you, I'm definitely gonna hit you up anytime.
I need you to. I need both of y'all, all three of y'all to do that. I mean, even for my sister that was retired, like we need to be able to talk and take over the world by being able to be there for people. So I got you.
Most definitely, man. Hey, much respect, man. I appreciate it too. I know Dumbo said you was coming on. I'm like, hey, man, I don't know nothing about. Like, I don't know nothing about it, but hey, at the same time, man, I knew he already told me, man, it's a good conversation. That's all I need to hear, man. Good conversation. That's what we had. So anytime too, man, like if you thinking of something, you want to do something, hit Dumbo up and say, hey, man, like you came on a day to talk about the retirement stuff, but if you come up with you want to talk about anything else, hey, man, we'll have you on here, man. So, hey, thank you, man.
Yeah, for sure.
No doubt. Respect, man.
Thank you for being transparent too and for opening up like that, especially as a man, like, it's hard for men to be transparent a lot of times. So thank you for showing that vulnerability, to the world. Because, we out here in the world now, Talia.
Yeah, we are.
We in the world now.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that respect.
Man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, y'all take care. And likewise, like if there's anything else that you guys need from me, just feel free to reach out. I want to continue to see you guys grow, man. Y'all been killing it, bro. The people that y'all been talking to, just growing from the two of you guys to now adding my sister in here, like it really is impactful. And hopefully it'll get to the people that it needs to get to, so that it can not necessarily change their mindset, but provoke thought. You know what I'm saying? To the point where you're just like, dang, I didn't know about that, or I didn't think about that. And to the point where they start now reaching out to us to have a greater conversation. So I appreciate the time.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it, man.